Alright guys, so I'm gonna just move this up here. Um, what we're looking at, so we're gonna be starting on question 41, and we were talking about the cyclic versus non-cyclic cycles. And so we went in, and this is the non-cyclic, and so we use both photosystems, and the electron's gonna go up through the electron transport chain, which produces ATP, go through the second one, produce some NADPH, and now we're going to go over to the Calvin cycle. And so we're going to get to this next slide. So a few things about the non-cyclic. ADP plus the phosphorus is going to give us ATP. NADP plus hydrogen is NADPH, so same thing. This just gained an electron, and so it is reduced. Also, oxygen, we're getting oxygen. So the way plants are getting oxygen is they're splitting water. So it's not coming from the carbon dioxide, it's coming from water. So water, and the reason this has a half O2 is because that is how this is molecular oxygen. What we're breathing out is always O2. So, probably still a little bit confused. That's alright. We're going to watch these animations in class and we will explain some of this. But I want to go on to talk a little bit more about chemoosmosis. So, the same thing again that was happening in cell respiration. It is what's powering ATP synthesis. So, synthesis just means to make. So, making ATP. This is happening across the thylakoid membrane. It's going to use the electron transport chain and ATP synthase. Again, just like what happened in cell respiration. Hydrogen moved down their concentration gradient through channels of ATP synthase, forming ATP from ADP. So here we have, the biggest difference between this and what was happening in the electron transport chain during cell respiration is that in cell respiration, it's happening on the inner membrane of the mitochondria. Now it's happening in the thylakoid, but same thing. We have hydrogen moving through these proteins, and then going out the other side, these hydrogen are going to go out through the ATP synthase, making ATP. So this ATP is going to be used in the next part in the Calvin cycle. And so we'll also watch this video in class later. So Calvin cycle is also known as carbon fixation or the light independent reaction. So again, this doesn't necessarily happen in the dark. It just doesn't need those photons in order to work. These are the plants that do this are called C3 plants, which are pretty much every plant that you think about. It occurs in the stroma. It's going to use ATP and NADPH from light energy. So this came from that light dependent reaction. It's going to use carbon dioxide, and it's going to produce glucose. So it's going to take 6 turns around it, which uses 18 ATP and 12 NADH. So it takes a lot of ATP in order to make this. So just to show you guys, so it's water's coming in the light reaction, water's splitting, and out comes oxygen. So it brought in ADP, brought in NADPH. Those went in the Calvin cycle. Carbon dioxide comes in here to the Calvin cycle, produces sugar. So the products, sugar and oxygen and water and carbon dioxide and light went in.